Hi, I'm Jennifer Bowles, and I teach kindergarten here at Cuba Elementary. This is my 20th year of teaching. I began at Cuba Elementary teaching early childhood special ed. I taught that for about 4 years, and then I moved to first grade for a couple years, and then I moved back to pre-K blended, and now I'm here in kindergarten, and this is where I've been for 11, 12 years.
My name is Mrs. Bowman. I have been at Cuba for 4 years now. My first year I taught first grade, and the last 3 years I have taught kindergarten. Before I came to Cuba, I was at Wethersfield in Kewanee, and I taught preschool there for 6 years.
A little bit about myself. I'm from Lewistown originally, but I've lived in Cuba for 20-some years. I live in Cuba with my husband Chad and my 2 boys, Caden and Kixon. Caden is a freshman at our Cuba High School, and Kixon is in 6th grade at our Cuba Middle School. When I was little, I was about 5, I think, when I started playing school, and I knew I wanted to be a teacher. Life throws some curves at us once in a while, and so I went to Spoon and graduated, and then I decided I got a full-time job, and so I worked full-time at a bank, and I actually loved it. And then I finally decided, you know, I really feel like I'm missing what my goal is and what my real passion is, and that's teaching. So I decided to go back to college. So I was a little bit older. So I went to Western and graduated in 2000. And I did lots of subbing because I graduated in December. So from January to May, I subbed in a lot of different districts around here, and I subbed a lot for Cuba. And I actually was hired that spring to teach summer school, fine arts for the older kids. So it was a lot of fun, and it was way different than my degree because my degree is early childhood. And then that summer, I got hired to teach here at Cuba.
A little bit about me. I live in Elmwood, Illinois, and I graduated high school from Knoxville. So I've always been in a rural setting, and that's what I enjoy. It's what I've always wanted to do. I graduated college from Illinois State University, and I'm still a big Illinois State Redbirds fan. My whole family and I are St. Louis Cardinal fans and Dallas Cowboy fans, even though I grew up in a house full of Chicago Cubs fans. So that makes for interesting, very interesting family events. I love to read when I'm not working or doing stuff with my kids at home. I have a 2 almost 3-year-old and a 5-year-old at home. I have one brother that's a lot older than me, so I kind of felt like an only child growing up. I have a 2.5-year-old daughter. Oh, I guess she's only almost 3. She'll be 3 in March. She's nothing like my oldest, who is 5. She is super sassy. Her name is Kinley. Sassy is the only way to describe her, really. Super sassy. Cohen is well-mannered and a rule follower, and Kinley is not.
This year has been a lot different than any other year, obviously, for everyone. But I will say, one of the positive things that's come out of this year, it has made us teachers and staff learn more. We have had to put ourselves out there and be uncomfortable and do crazy things that we would have never done. And I'm not a technology lover, some of you might know, and I had to learn a lot about technology, and I'm doing okay. And it's good. It's good for us teachers to keep learning and to keep educating ourselves. And so that's been a positive. We've had to learn new things. Kids are resilient. You know, my kindergartners have learned how to be on their iPads and log in and log off and switch and swap and go to different meets and different apps, and they're rock stars. And so it's taught me that we are all able to learn at all different levels.
There actually have been quite a few positives, in my opinion, for this year. Kindergartners are resilient, that's for sure. I never thought that I would be able to keep the attention of a kindergartner for 4 hours straight over a computer screen. And I have 3 that have been remote since day 1, and they're doing phenomenal. I mean, they probably are more responsible at this point than some college kids that do online classes. And another positive is that since we are so short on time, we've had to stay really, really strict with a schedule, and that's actually made us be even further in our curriculum and stuff right now than we would normally be, because normally we would have days where we might need to assess this kid or do something with that kid, or we get behind on something, so we say, oh, we'll just finish it tomorrow. And we've just really kind of had to push through those situations. And at the end of the school year last year, at the end of the school year, I mean March last year, before we were sent to remote learning, my kids were 2 units in math, I think, below what we're doing right now at the end of January. So it's been really interesting to see and how well all of the kids and parents have just gotten used to the technology. It was rough at the beginning of the year, but at this point it's almost second nature. It's just become part of their everyday learning now. It's been really great to see.
In kindergarten, one of our biggest goals is to be able to teach the children to read. Some kids, it is very natural, and other kids, it's a struggle. And so I would say as kindergarten teachers, our biggest goal is to teach them the letters, the sounds, the blending, phonics, and to hopefully by the end of the year start reading. By the end of kindergarten, some kids are wonderful readers. And then there's others that still have a difficult time, but they are still continuing to learn to read and perfect that in first grade.
The main goals for the end of kindergarten are counting to 100, reading at a guided reading level C or a D. We want the kids to know all of their letters and sounds. Usually we want them to come in knowing those, because it just makes it a little easier to hit the rest of the goals. But if not, usually by Christmas it makes that easier. And we do adding and subtracting. By the end of kindergarten, we want them to write some sentences all on their own. And one of my favorite things about kindergarten is actually just seeing the progress from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, since they're all just in such different places. I have some kids that come in that are almost reading or already reading on their own, and I have some kids that come in that haven't had the chance to go to preschool anywhere. They might not know any of their letters and sounds, and just the difference between August and May is just such, it's just a surprise every year. It shouldn't be, but every year, just at the end of the year, looking back, I love it. It's very satisfying for me, and I try to get them to be very proud of themselves to see how far they've come.
I said earlier that I have 2 boys, and they are huge sports fans. And an ironic thing is that I was not. Growing up, I was a cheerleader, and I was in some different clubs and things, but I didn't play any sports. I was not competitive whatsoever. And then I met my husband, who is very competitive. And then I had my 2 boys, who are very competitive. And so it's just so ironic, because I'm that mom. I'm yelling in the stands, and I am, cheering them on, and I get so excited. And it's what I love to do. To me, there's nothing better than watching your boys do what they love doing. In my spare time, when I'm not watching the boys, I enjoy gardening, and I love planting flowers and just messing around outside in the summer. I love laying out in my pool. I'm a shopper, and I love spending time with my friends and my family.